What is up, guys? Welcome back to Daily Driven Porsche. It's a brand new day. I'm not taking the 993 today. We are taking the 992. Even though the front lip is completely ripped off, everything else is decent on it. So we're gonna hit the streets in this. We might cruise over real quick and check out the beach. If you guys are new to the channel, this is a 2020 Carrera S. It's lowered on Tech Art springs with a Tech Art body kit, AL13 wheels. They are R80 monoblock one-piece wheels, 22 in the rear, 21 in the front. I have to get you the specs on the offsets of the wheels. There's no spacers, it's just the offset of the wheel. And then it has a Soul Performance exhaust, headers, and cats. But we're about to take it to my buddy Vito because he's going to fix this side skirt. He's going to fix the front lip. And the main reason I'm taking it to him is that he does PPF. This whole entire car is black PPF. So he's going to PPF it before he puts the parts on. So I have the new front lip over here. And this is the new car I got, 97 Carrera 2, narrow body. And we have the front lip right here in the box. You can see it's like a matte plastic black color when it comes from Tech Art. So let's get in this thing and fire it up. Here we go, cold start. All right, the very first stop is we're going to get gas. First thing I noticed getting in this after driving my son's E30 is the steering. It feels very tight in this, in a good way. Oh, you're probably like, what is he talking about E30? So I forgot, this is a brand new video. My last video, I was working on my son's E30. I had to change his shocks. He had a shock mount go out. All right, we've arrived at the gas station. It's Monday morning. Stock market's gonna open up today. I don't know what's gonna happen, and to be honest, I don't even care because I just keep investing in my boring dividends. I do have SPMO and VOO and VGT and my other accounts, but I mainly just invest in dividends through SCHD. Just keep it simple and stay consistent. But I don't know what in the world's gonna happen today. Things have been all over the place. I just keep stacking the cash flow so I can get the financial freedom. Holy cow, $5.79. I think we're gonna have to go with regular psych. I wish we could. All right, let's give them our credit card number so they can steal it. I feel like these are way safer than the older ones. This one's nice. It's getting really toasty out here in Florida. I need to join the freaking Shell thing. I used to be part of it in Baltimore. Actually, my dad's watching this. My brother and I knew my dad was part of it. He probably doesn't know this. You used to get a giant grocery store in Baltimore. You would get like huge discounts. And I think every now and then one of us would be like, they'd be like, do you want to see if your number has any discounts? And we'd put his phone number in and it'd be like, you have $197, like a year's worth. So Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. And I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, put it on the account. We were young. We were in our, probably like 20 with our own apartment, so we were trying to save money. All right, let's see this thing drain the bank account. See how much it takes. Do you guys ever buy lottery tickets? I never do, but the guy in this gas station gave me one the other day. For fun, we tried to see if we'd win. No luck. All right, while this is filling up, I'm gonna go in the gas station, see what's going on in there. What's up, Stuart? Hey, what's up? How's it going? Man, the thing's still draining. $80. Look at these streaks. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, you guys can't see them. But I put my window down right after I had cleaned it. I got streaks on the windows. I'm going to wipe them off real quick. This thing's actually been sitting outside of my house since I got the 99. Oh, I got some glass cleaner right here. Since I got the 993, this thing's been sitting outside of my house. But I'm about to take it to Vita, so I'm gonna have space. But soon I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing. Am I gonna get a storage unit, or am I gonna get a industrial flex space? Man, this is a busy parking lot. I gotta get out of here if I can. Good thing we got the front axle left. Oh, my buddy Matt told me about this book, Get Things Done, so I started listening to it. Oh, actually, no, that was a different book that came on. Whew. All right, let's sneak out of here if we can. Place is busy. I have a little bit of a knocking noise in the front right of the 911, so I need to jack it up and push it around and see if I can figure out what it is. I don't know if it's like sway bar end links or control arm bushings or something. Who knows? All right, we're back on the streets. Let's go head over. Let's go head over to the beach area. Get this thing in sport mode. It's all warmed up. I gotta say, the 993 is definitely more engaging. The sounds in this are great, but all you really want to do is go back to that air-cooled. It's not even about the power, the horsepower, it's just about the drive. I mean, this is fun in its own right, and the sounds are great. The look, it looks really aggressive and it's fun. But I'm telling you right now, that air-cooled just cruising, 282 horsepower, 3.6 liter. It's really nice. Honestly, it's probably just the engagement with the manual. Just feeling like you're actually doing something when you're driving. I imagine like a 991.2 manual, like this, pretty much the same engine as this, or 992.1. Be really fun and engaging. There was a white one for sale on Bring a Trailer. It was nice. It had the PCCB yellow brake calipers, the carbon ceramic brakes. It had a carbon roof. You can look it up and look back a little bit. If you type in 992.1, it was white. And it was really nice. I can't remember what it sold for, but I was bidding on it and then I backed out. You could also look up daily driven Porsche, like the profile, but no spaces, daily driven Porsche on Bring a Trailer. You can see all the cars I've bid on and the cars I've won. And it's in there. You'll be able to find it in there. You could probably also get a little insight into my mind when you see the cars I was bidding on. I was bidding on a 9,000 mile Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX from my childhood. I had a friend growing up, his name was Ben Selman, and my friend Chris Leonard. And Ben Selman had a silver GSX. And I honestly didn't even know what the car was until we were all hanging out. And I knew my buddy Chris, he had a WRX. This is how I ended up getting a WRX. And my buddy Chris Leonard had a WRX. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, his WRX is nice. It was new at the time. It was like a new car. And the GSX that Ben had was silver. It was lowered. He had aggressive aftermarket wheels and a front mount intercooler. And dude, when I heard the turbo blow off, that might be the first time I actually heard a turbo spoil up and blow off. And it gave me that feeling like, oh, damn, dude, what is this? I'm like, this is like Fast and Furious in real life. And then he took me for a ride in it. I was blown away how quick it was. And I loved on the inside of the car the way like the dash, like the Supra, separates you from the passenger. And it kind of has like a cockpit feel and a nice little shifter. It's just a nice car. I still like them to this day. But that particular car on Bring a Trailer, it bid all the way up to like 50,000, just like it did the first time they had it listed, and it didn't sell. No, it went to 55,000, I think, and it didn't sell. And someone wrote in the comments, go to their website. They want 100 grand for that car. A 9,000 mile Mitsubishi Eclipse. Really nice spec. Burgundy color with tan interior, but still. Check out this lot. Perone Construction. These guys are they're the guys around here. I know the one son, because if you go back and watch my videos, beach lot mistake, I bought that beach lot. Or I was about to buy the beach lot. I had the contract. I had it under contract and I backed out. That lot was, I paid $5,000 to an architect to come up with a house for the lot. I didn't even have the money, dude, to figure it all out. I had enough money to get the lot. That was it. Cash, like an idiot. I didn't know back then about just controlling the asset, not using all your money. You don't need to own it. I wasn't thinking straight. I was like, I'm gonna get this lot. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna show everybody. I was listening to like K-Bong in my gym when I was living in Northport, Florida, listening to like reggae songs in the gym, picturing I'm gonna be on the beach lot like I'm Jamie O'Brien with a surfboard or something. And I was like, I'm gonna get this lot. I can remember using the mental energy, the definiteness of purpose and connecting emotion with energy in my brain and my subconscious, and I knew I was getting it. I didn't have enough. I was short like $100 grand, but I knew I was getting it. And I could have got it, but then I kind of got a little bit smart, and I said, this isn't smart to put all this money in the land. And to be honest, it was smart. What I should have done was put a down payment down, got it with a loan, controlled it, held it for a little while, and then sold it or built on it or whatever it is I was going to do with it. But selling it was the move. The guy who bought it ended up selling it for like $1 million more 1 year later. I was just not looking at it right. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just an amateur. All I had was single family rentals, and I thought I was Grant Cardone or Robert Kiyosaki or something. So those guys, they've got a pretty cool house. You can look it up. It's actually their personal house they use. You can look it up. It's called Fish Camp. Look up Perun Construction and look up Fish Camp. And we were going to try to build a house like that. Like a real deal beach bungalow style in the jungle, like Costa Rica looking. I don't know what looking like, but it was amazing. And that was the dream. And then I thought, what am I doing? And then we ended up not doing it. And then that's when I ended up buying the house that I live in now. I took the down payment and I got the home, which ended up being a good idea because I kind of recognized that debt was an asset in times of inflation. Like, for example, if I have a home, like my home that I lived in, that was like worth $400,000, and let's say, for example, we have inflation rate of 10 or 5%, you know, and let's say the homes go up by that inflation rate. Now, I'm going to get that percentage on the value of the asset I own. I'm by no means telling you to go get debt. But what I am saying is that when I recognized this house that was for sale was $2.2 million, I'm like, oh, I have the down payment for that. And I thought, you know what? If we're going into an inflationary environment, this was 2002, August. I sold all the homes in the summer of, from March, it was a little early, till the end of the summer of August. I sold all the rentals I had. And I had this big chunk of money, and I had money saved in the stock account. I was in a better position back then. I had the rentals and I had a full-blown stock account, pretty almost equivalent to the value it is right now, because I've done so many dumb money moves with cars and whatnot. Oh, well, I guess I also funded other accounts and things. But okay, so what I'm getting at is this. I recognized that, and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to get this house. It's $2.2 million. And sure enough, that theory really played out, and it worked, because the home itself now, at one point it said it was worth 4.5, which it probably wasn't, because nobody was selling them for that. Actually, they were at one, just for, you guys remember that little bit of time, things were like, prices were crazy high and the market was so wild you couldn't even get a house. So people were overpaying. So there was that short little period of time that happened, but now it says it's worth like 3.5. But what I'm saying is, I got the percentage gain on the percentage of a much higher valued asset than the original one I had. But you don't need to have, with real estate, well, I guess leverage in general, which can be very dangerous. So don't think that I'm saying this as an absolute thing. You got to be smart with debt if you're going to even use debt. I don't like debt really at all. But what I'm saying is this: with the power of the leverage, you're controlling the asset with a smaller amount of money. But if it goes up in value because of inflation or money printing or the M2 money supply increasing or whatever, you're getting the gain of the value of that total asset, not the money that you invested. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's really the power of leverage, but that's also the power of having a larger asset in times of inflation, or having a hard asset. But that was kind of like a smart move and a dumb move at the same time, because yes, that would have been smart if it was a full-blown cash flowing asset. I mean, at the end of the day, like Robert Kiyosaki says, it's a liability, my home. You know, it takes a huge mortgage payment comes out of my pocket every month. Yes, if I sold the home and realize the gain, then I could say it was some type of asset. But as of right now, it is a monthly liability. I've mentioned this in a video before in the past. I like to look sometimes at money like on the daily. Like I look at the YouTube channel where I'm like, oh man, all right, it's making 800 bucks a month now. So I'm like, all right, it's making 26 bucks a day. So I have this little short-term goal. I'm like, it doesn't seem like much, but $90 a day is a $3,000 a month industrial flex space. So if I could get the channel to basically triple, if I could triple a little bit more than that, I can cover the rent of a flex space. All paid for by the asset that was created out of thin air. Just something I enjoy doing. It's not passive. It's work. You have to do it every day, make videos and whatnot. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, I just look at it like that on the daily. So it's dangerous to look at things on the daily though sometimes. Like you might say, oh, we're just getting Disney Plus. It's only $9.99 a month, or it's only $20 a month. You're like, damn, dude, that's less than $1 a day. But then it starts adding up quick when you keep doing that. You know what I mean? So it's good to audit yourself and like get rid of the things that are not necessary. Or figure out how to increase the income. A lot of us play around on the bottom line all the time, and we need to just go back to the top line and figure out how can we increase the income. But remember, you only have 24 hours in a day, so you also want to enjoy your life. That's why, for me, the tagline for the channel is chasing financial freedom, but trying to build the life I dreamed of as a kid. It's like, yes, I want to have financial freedom, but I also want to have 911s and be spoiling up turbos on the streets. You know what I mean? It's an oxymoron. Somehow I gotta figure it out. Oh, what do we got over there, dude? Oh, I've seen that guy's car. I'm gonna go swing in there. It's a 997 with an aero kit. And he's got PCCBs too. He's got the carbon ceramics, I think. Let's go in there and check it out. Porsche spotter. You got the eye for the 911, you just stands out all of a sudden, you just see it. In a sea full of cars. No, that car's nice. I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times around. He might be in it. No, he's not in it. I'm gonna hop out and walk around and look at it. Oh, it's turbo. I thought it was a Carrera. Damn. That thing's nasty. It's a turbo. Dude, that thing's a beast. That is a beast. 997 turbo. That is nice. I'm gonna keep cruising, but I really like that a lot. That thing's no joke. On the black cars, it's hard to pick up on the. Well, I guess I should have noticed the wide body, but it's hard to pick up those air ducts from a distance. I like the 997 a lot. I like the 996. I like them all. I try to battle in my mind with, if I could get another 911, what would it be? And I know the 993 and the 964 are a little bit, not too similar, but they're similar in a lot of ways, other than the multi-link rear suspension the 993 has. It's probably a little bit more mechanical feel and a little bit more engaging driving experience with the 964. I'm not sure, I've never driven one, but I've watched videos, you know, about it. But that doesn't, you got to drive them because you got to know. You might watch a video and think you love something, and then you get in it and you're like, oh damn, this is way smaller than I thought, or something, you know. But the 964, the fenders, they're so prominent that I think sometimes when it sits next to the 993, the narrow body 993, the 964 stands out. It looks actually pretty husky. If I was looking for a car price-wise, I'd look at the 996 C4S. I like that a lot. You have the turbo brakes, the turbo wide body, and I think it's a great car. I just love the way it looks. I really do. That could be a really great addition. I love the 991s, but I feel like with the 992, it's just a little too similar, unless I got a manual or a GT3 car, but I don't have the money for the GT3s. So price-wise, I feel like the 996 C4S is an okay entry point, and they've kind of hit rock bottom. I mean, people really wrote them off for a long time. I don't know if they'll ever get cheaper. I always feel like the 996 C4S is kind of slept on. It's unique. It's got the light bar, it's got the wide body, and they made about 175,000 996s across all the 996s, and they made about 17,000 C4Ss, about 13% of the total production of the 996s C4Ss. I mean, it's not, compared to the massive mass production numbers of Porsches today, it's not that many. I mean, it's still a decent amount, but it's really not that many. I think it's probably a lot less than the 997s. The 997s have a lot larger production numbers, I think. I think they're like 200 and some thousand, not way larger, but 200 and some thousand total 997s. And then the C4S, I think it's like in the 40s or 50,000s. I'm pretty sure. So when you really think about it, the 996 C4S, for the price, I mean, if you can get over the headlights, I don't mind the headlights. I think the body, the shape of the 996 C4S is awesome, and I love the turbo look 2 wheels. Man, I found a speed yellow one. It was perfect. It was everything I like. It was lowered in a nice way. It had stitching, deviated stitching on the inside to match the exterior. Black interior, super, super nice, like really clean. It had sport mufflers, the Porsche Sport exhaust system. It had wheel spacers, which some people hate, but it did make it look really aggressive. I think they had them like 17 millimeter in the rear and 15 millimeter in the front, or 12 millimeter in the front. The stance was not, it was like, it looked dialed in, the thing. It looked perfect. And I went on the website. It said it was for sale on like cars.com, and then I went to the website and it said sale pending. I was like, damn. Because no joke, I probably would have gotten it. I'm not messing around. I think I would have said, screw it, I'm getting it. And then that would have forced me into having to figure out how I'm going to get some type of space to store all the cars. It's like almost like I want to put my back against the wall, so I have to go do it. It's weird. It's almost like I don't want to make dumb financial decisions, but sometimes in life I put myself in these weird positions that push me to kind of like reach to the next little level, and then one day I look back and it feels like the norm. It's like you keep it's like your lungs or something. Like you keep expanding what your lungs can hold. I guess you got to be careful because you don't want to die. But I feel like that's kind of what it is. And at the same time, you don't want to take on stuff that's going to give you a lot of stress and anxiety and worry and fear and ruin your life. It has to be something that you're passionate about and it's going to bring joy and fulfillment. So be careful, going too far into one thing. I am always self-analyzing this. Am I doing this for some other thing? Why am I doing this? But I was a diesel mechanic for like 16 years, and I desire to like just be back like working on the shop. I feel like it's honest and it feels very fulfilling to me. Like even last night working on my son's car, it was 1 in the morning. I didn't really even want to go in and go to sleep. I was like really enjoying myself just working on the car. There's something about it. Like men need to, or women need to have some type of work or purpose, something that fulfills them, And I have that with my family and things like that. But you need to have something that, I'm talking about building and creating. And when you do it physically with your hands, and it's really enjoyable, dude. It really is. Especially the cars, the fulfillment and the fun is actually in the fixing and changing and modifying, and then the driving. It's like you get this reward when you drive it, and you get to like experience. It's like someone getting to enjoy the fruits of their labor. That's what it is for the car people. It's like the drive, or looking at it, looking at the way it looks after you modify it, or even just cleaning the car gives me that feeling, to be honest. Well, I'm gonna head to the gym. I'm gonna hit the gym, and then I'm gonna go work. I'll see you guys on another video. I'll be back soon. Appreciate everybody. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.